Commander Vex of the Galactic Dominion stared at the view screen with mounting disbelief. His mandibles clicked nervously as he observed the small blue planet designated Terra 3. According to intelligence, this was a Class 12 death world, one of the harshest inhabited planets in the known galaxy. Impossible, he muttered. No sentient species could evolve in such conditions. His second-in-command, Officer Rala, checked the readings again. The data is accurate, Commander. High gravity, extreme temperature variations, toxic atmosphere components, dangerous wildlife, and frequent natural disasters. Yet they thrive. The invasion fleet had been dispatched after the Dominion Council discovered the existence of these humans. Initial scans suggested they would make easy prey. Soft-bodied creatures with no natural weapons, no significant speed or strength compared to other spacefaring races. The Dominion had conquered hundreds of worlds, but never a death world species. Prepare the elite forces, Vex ordered. We'll make an example of their largest military installation first. The drop ships landed outside the human compound in the region called Arizona. The Dominion warriors, 8 feet tall and covered in chitinous armor, emerged into the scorching heat. Their bodies immediately began registering distress signals as environmental sensors detected temperatures far beyond comfort parameters. By the void, squad leader Torque gasped. How do they live in this heat? As if in answer, the compound's gates opened and a group of humans emerged. They wore simple cloth coverings and appeared completely unbothered by the temperature that was causing the alien warriors' cooling systems to work at maximum capacity. Interesting, one of the humans said, a male with gray hair and withered skin. Another first contact scenario. And they've come armed. The human made no move to flee despite facing 30 heavily armed Dominion warriors. Instead, he sipped from a container of steaming liquid, adding heat to his body in this already scorching environment. Torque raised his sonic disruptor. In the name of the Galactic Dominion, your world is now under our control. Surrender your military assets immediately. The human took another step inside. Colonel Tom Reynolds, United Earth Defense Force. I'd recommend against this course of action, friends. You have no leverage for negotiation, Torque replied. Our scans show your species has minimal natural defenses. You cannot possibly resist. The colonel smiled. You know what's funny about evolving on a death world? You learn to adapt. At that moment, the ground began to shake. The Dominion warriors, evolved on a low-gravity world with minimal tectonic activity, stumbled and fell. The humans remained standing, seemingly accustomed to the earth moving beneath their feet. Just a small tremor, Colonel Reynolds explained casually. Happens all the time here. As the warriors struggled to regain their footing, dark clouds gathered overhead with remarkable speed. Within moments, water began falling from the sky in quantities that seemed impossible to the aliens, whose homeworld received rainfall only once per standard cycle. Monsoon season, Reynolds said, still unbothered as torrents of water drenched everything. Bitterly this year, the Dominion communication systems began to fail in the downpour. Their exoskeletons, designed for combat but not extreme weather conditions, began to malfunction. Torque stared in horror as the colonel and his team stood calmly in the deluge, making no move to seek shelter. How? He gasped. This? Reynolds gestured at the storm. This is nothing. Last week we had a tornado take out 3 buildings. Week before that, temperatures hit 120 degrees. Winter brings ice storms that freeze everything solid. Spring has pollen counts that would suffocate your species. We face it all without flinching. As if to punctuate his point, a small creature with 8 legs scurried across the ground between them. One of the Dominion warriors screamed and fired wildly at it. Reynolds laughed. That's just a scorpion. Venomous, but not one of the dangerous ones. The really nasty wildlife is mostly nocturnal. The Dominion squad began backing toward their ships. You haven't even seen what we can do when we actually start fighting, Reynolds continued. Humans evolved as persistence hunters. We chased prey until it collapsed from exhaustion. We survived ice ages with nothing but animal skins and fire. We've adapted to every environment on our planet. Deserts, Arctic tundra, mountains, deep oceans. Thunder cracked overhead, causing several warriors to flinch. Not one human reacted. "Tell your commander something from me," Reynolds said, stepping forward as the aliens retreated. "Death World species don't conquer the galaxy because we're too busy conquering our own planets. But if you force our hand, we'll bring everything we've learned from surviving Earth to your doorstep." Back on the command ship, Vex watched the footage in stunned silence. The elite squad was retreating, not because they'd been outfought, but because they'd been thoroughly unnerved. "Cancel the invasion," he ordered finally. "Sir?" Rala questioned. "These humans," Vex struggled to articulate the dawning realization, "they consider environmental conditions that would kill our species to be merely inconvenient. They drink scalding liquids for pleasure. They stand unprotected in acid rain. They live alongside venomous predators." He turned to his second-in-command, mandibles trembling. "What kind of warriors would we be facing if we invaded? Creatures who evolved on a world that tries to kill them daily, who consider such conditions normal." The view screen showed Reynolds still standing in the rain, waiting patiently. "Open communication channels," Vex ordered. "Tell them we wish to discuss diplomatic relations." In the history of the Galactic Dominion, it was the first time they had ever abandoned an invasion. But as Vex later reported to the Council, some enemies weren't worth making, especially ones who faced daily what would terrify even the bravest Dominion warrior, especially ones who called a Death World home.